I almost let our businesses bankrupt our marriage. Literally, I was deciding what was I going to sacrifice first, you or the business, the family or the vision. Hey guys, welcome back to Married to Marriage. I'm Antjuan.
And I'm Kayla.
And today we want to talk to you guys about the struggles of starting a business, following a vision inside of your marriage when it looks tough and when it's rough. It's been uniquely difficult for us to start our businesses that we have. We own an AV production company, creative agency, partner with a consulting company, and now we're attempting to even launch our first tech company this year. And as fun as that sounds, as cool as that sounds, it's been total hell.
Yeah, I think that was a really good way to put that.
But there is a lot of heaven to see, but it's hard to build, maintain, grow, scale, and multiply business at the pace that we're decided to take, because of the way God has allowed us or challenged me or really convicted me to take. It's not the fastest route to entrepreneurship or to wealth. It's literally the slow, scenic route. And what I mean by that, there's some time ago that when we first launched our first business, which was our music production company, we had a studio. We may be able to show you some pictures of this called London Square Studios.
It was a fun time.
It was actually a lot of fun time. It was our first brick and mortar studio. Literally, we built it not from the ground up, but it was already built.
We painted it.
We remodeled
furnished it.
We sold it as far as like being able to sell services. Yeah. And it was the first time we had a client base come and go kind of a thing.
We made a website. We did the whole
the whole thing. That was 2014? 13? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That sparked the moment of entrepreneurship for me, because after we launched that, probably like 6 months into it, I literally started thinking like, man, I can open up a restaurant now. We started getting restaurant ideas.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There's some really cool things.
We started looking at real estate.
I mean, we just thought no money.
Not a dime.
No money. You're talking about music studio in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And it was our son he wasn't birthed there, but he was a baby.
Yeah.
He probably was made there. Anyway, y'all know that's where all the music and the beats are.
Okay.
Literally.
Okay.
Holla at your boy. But my son, he got to visit the studio and grow up in the studio a lot.
Yeah, we took him at like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
To see the studio, and I have those little pictures. I'll insert some pictures.
We'll put the pictures up. But at the same time too, even though I was full-time in a music studio, my wife was supporting our foundational bills and making that happen. You remember that?
I was making it rain.
I'm
just kidding. I worked at T-Mobile for a lot of years. I think it was like 5 years. And I was able to fund, a lot of stuff. Yeah. Like engagement parties, wedding.
Everything. Until.
Yeah. Like a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then when we had our son, I decided not to go back to work. And
we decided for you not to go back to work.
I had decided, and I was hoping and praying he also was decided that I wasn't going to.
That wasn't a hard decision to make. I don't think we didn't fight over like, oh no, you're not leaving work.
We didn't fight at all. However, we also didn't really have a conversation beforehand. I remember that. Okay. Like we didn't talk about like, hey, once I have this baby, I don't want to go back to work. I just remember that my 6 weeks was up and my boss called and was like, hey, are you going to come back? And I remember looking at you and was like, they want to know if I'm coming back.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I thought it just faded. To me, it just faded.
No, I looked at you. I was like, they want to know if I'm coming back. And I didn't give them, I was like, you know what? Let me call you back. I got to think about it. And then I remember like a week later, he called and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm coming back. Like, I can't imagine leaving this small, precious child with you all day.
What did I say to you? Because I feel like it was kind of a mutual thing. I don't think
No, you didn't. It was like, I was like, hey, they want to know if I'm coming back. And you looked at me, you said, are you? And I was like, I don't want to. And you're like, okay, we'll make it work.
So let faith begin.
Yeah. You were also in that moment signed to a different band at a different record label. Like life is looking just a little different.
Oh yeah. I was
and then
in the
like
studio
right
line.
after I decided not to go back to work, things turned. You left the band.
Changes happened.
Yeah, changes happened. And
your dad passed away.
no, that was before I had a baby.
I know it was before you had a baby.
No, I'm saying.
Okay, after.
Yeah, when I decided not to go back to work.
Yeah.
It's like 2 weeks later, you decided not to be in the band anymore because of some things that had gone down.
Yeah.
And we were both looking at each other like, well, let's make it work. We're just gonna make it work. So, I mean, I had always said like they would let me back if I absolutely needed to, but we just pushed fully into the studio and where we felt God was telling us to go. And I remember that's probably our first time we stepped out on faith.
Yeah,
like
that
as
was
a couple.
Yeah, that was definitely the first time we stepped out on faith. I felt like even for me, like it wasn't like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? It was
Not
just
at
like
all. We're gonna do it.
When you have a business, like you think you own the world a little bit. You think, oh, this is gonna make sense. It did not happen that way, but it kind of did.
Yeah.
Because even from that moment, yeah, there were some struggles we had because we're still learning a bunch of things, and we got a car,
We
had
got
a
a
car,
car repossessed.
Had repossessed, didn't even know, no management. Still learning today. Thank God we buy everything cash. But even back then, 10, 12 years ago, that's when we first stepped out on faith. And so since then, that really has just sparked into other ideas, other moments, other experiences that led us to where we are now. And because of that, I think the way that God really wanted to teach us business was very unusual. I believe not done before in a way. From the older I got, I realized through certain relationships and gifts that this does not happen.
Yeah.
But it happened to specific people in some other ways. But for us, I remember God telling me to kind of slow down in business and let him kind of really take the CEO route and guide us through this without having to go out there and market and sell. And because I've never sent out an email, never made a cold call, never advertised a business anywhere.
I mean, I think before that, though, it's important to say that, like, when we figured out what God wanted us to do, it wasn't like God said to do this and then everybody that was around us was on board for it and we were going to be able to stay where we were and it was just going to be built up and be beautiful. Like, we literally, what was it? We had lost a baby. Like, it was a lot of stuff that had gone on. And then it was like, God was like, hey, on top of all of that,
Yeah.
I think you guys need to move to separate yourselves from everything that you know right now in the middle of a new pregnancy and build from the ground up and just focus on your families and what I'm calling you to do. And the people that we thought would support us did not support us nor come along with the vision with us.
Yeah.
And then we moved to a place that we knew nobody, really. Like, my family lives here, but I mean, like, our age and stuff that we knew of anybody, and we ain't had no money.
No money.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, we ain't had no money. We live with my mom.
Zero. So my truck, everything.
Yeah.
And so even in this process, I remember saying, hey, God, if you want us to have these type of businesses this way, as an entrepreneur, I know how to make money. I know how to make money on every skill that I have, making music, videotaping, creative. Like, this was back then. This is like still brand new. But I just remember saying, God, if you want us to have these businesses, like, I don't have a business major. I didn't graduate high school. I didn't have anybody teach me this. I just had mentorship who showed me enough nuggets for us to possibly get about and for hopefully for God to multiply that. And we've learned how to grow a business. We didn't learn how to do business. That's a new situation. For some of you guys are stepping out on faith for the first time, maybe even back in 2020. Even now, like, you have a degree, you have a job, but you're ready to leave it. You don't know if it's time. And you don't know what the thing is. It's like becoming a farmer or a gardener. Like, God will show you how to grow a business. And it's not just the business itself, it's who you are in the business.
Yeah.
Then it's what you're building. Then it's who it's for. And it's an extremely long process that because of many trial and errors, I've taken us through ideas, not just for anything random, but really based off of the skills that we already had, and say, God, what do you want to do with them? And it always revert back to the scripture where the widower and the prophet Isaiah, I believe, and she has this debt. She has this thing that she has to pay for. And he says, how many jars do you have? When I hear that verse, I think of, God, what did you skill us with? What business did you give us? And even to this day, God, fill these however much you want to fill them with, and we will serve whoever you want us to serve. That's been the bottom line of our business. But as it grows, as vision increases, as vision adapts, we're learning so much from the relational aspect, the business aspect, the front end, the back end, and there's a middle end to this whole thing. I wish there were some burnt ends. Holla at your boy.
So, babe, I was just wondering, during all of this that you were talking about, what pressures did you feel as a man building alongside me with the vision and the businesses and everything that's happening?
Yeah, I have two types of pressures. One is uniquely recent, and one is when I decided to follow this vision that God called us to build this tech company we've been working on for 8 years. Mm-hmm. The first pressure was, and that wasn't until like 2021, was, God, do I got to tell my wife about this vision and how she's going to be involved in it? Because I don't know the words to say. I don't know the language to give you. I don't think you're going to believe me, and I don't think you're going to put in the work and effort. And that was all true. So the pressure to share this with you and feeling like I'm supposed to do it with you. And I think a lot of kingdom-minded people and people of faith who want to do something with their spouse, if it doesn't come naturally, some people have it naturally because they're both kind of businessy kind of people, productive people. But to bring you out of mom mode a little bit into, hey, I need you to come out here and plant some berries and pick some apricots.
Yeah.
Like, we have to do some planting now, and we got to do some picking now. And to get you to do something that you did not see being raised up, grown in a household, or been challenged in your life to do such a thing, it was a lot of pressure from God to me, from me to you. Mm-hmm. That's why I felt like I need help doing this, because I'm definitely not the smart one here. And so the second pressure came from what I felt more recently, because I feel pressure from all sides now. It's when they say new levels, new devils, this is probably kind of what they mean. But the pressure to not perform or produce, because I can produce, it's in multiples. It's in multiples. So producing for the business, producing for families and other people, paying payroll, and then also making sure that my family can eat. There's been more times where the lights are off. The phone's got to be paid. The rent is late 2 or 3 times because we're financing other things. Mm-hmm. And remember, we don't go get loans. We haven't invested or asked for investments outside. It's all what I just learned, bootstrapping.
Yeah, new word.
And I'm trying to find a boot to strap. And so that's one of the first things when it comes to feeling pressure. It's not that you're putting pressure on me to make ends meet, because that's easy to do. The way in which that we're trying to do it is very common. Most people will say, hey, man, just focus on one business at a time and get that to do the whole thing. Then I'm like, yeah, I could do that, but then I would miss all these other things. Why do I feel to sow here, sow here, and sow here? And it's a slow process. It's like planting a garden and you got 3 different crops going on instead of just a whole crop of cucumber.
Yeah.
Like, it's still going to take the same amount of time, but it's easier when you're focused in. And I found a little insecurity for the first time. I'm like, man, is this cool? Like, even though this is easy for me to do, is it cool to produce multiple things at the same time. And yes, it is possible, and it's a people trick. Producing multiplies when there's people to help you produce it and multiply.
Yeah.
When you produce all yourself, multiple different things, you will fail and be hard. It will be hard on you. There's a secret for all y'all who are producing things or producing a thing or multiple things. And you don't have a product issue, you have a people issue. So this is where leadership comes in. And for a little period of time, this is kind of why I'm like, man, why do we know these particular people? Why have God sent us these particular people? We're supposed to do something with them. Mm-hmm. They're supposed to help us farm. They're supposed to help us plant, and they're supposed to help us sow and reap as well. And so that's a little nugget. So when it comes to pressures, I felt that. And then the third pressure is just internal. Yeah. On myself, pressurizing me to learn the things I'm supposed to learn, partnerships and contracts now and litigation at the same time. And oh my God, this is a lot, but it's pushing me towards the crop where you're starting to see the root of something. And so it's all good things and it's all good pressure. So
yeah. I was thinking the other day, you're actually pretty good at this now. I think we've come a long way, but how do you find yourself being able to balance being like the visionary and a provider, but also being ever present in my life and the kids' life?
I try to hang on to the scripture that says some plant, some reap.
Some plant, some sow.
I try to hang on to the scripture that says some plant, some sow, but only God can add the increase to it. And I know that if I keep planting and I keep watering, God will add increase. And I learn how to spread that kind of butter over everything. The businesses, my family, my relationship with you, my relationship with other people. I know if I plant time with you and water that time with you, that God will increase what needs to be increased in the season that needs to be increased. Same with the kids. As long as I'm planting something, as long as I'm spending time, I text our friend Drew, Christina's husband, and I said, hey, man, do you feel like you're not doing enough? Do you feel like you're there, but maybe you're not maybe present or you don't feel like it's enough? And he gives me some feedback. And then he says, and it freed me. He says, maybe you're feeling this because of the amount of work that you're putting in on other things. You feel like it needs to equal what you put in for your family. Mm. And what I got in that moment is it don't need to feel the same. Like I'm putting in enough time. I have enough pictures, videos, receipts to show it. But when I'm out, on the phone or on these meetings and on Zooms and traveling, I feel like, I didn't give my family the same amount of 8 hours or 6 hours of that time because I want to give more. And so I've been free to kind of let that type of pressure go. And as long as I do what dad is supposed to do, not just providing and producing, but protecting and praying for and planting and watering, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because God asks the increase to all this. And that's why you guys treat me the way you do. That's why I get the love I do. That's a sign, that's an indicator for me that I think I'm on the right track.
Yeah. These have been really good. I think to sew this up with some of the questions that I've been asking you, it's like, while you've been doing this, because you've been an entrepreneur for your whole life, but like the past 10 years fully, what is one mistake that you think you made early on that you would warn other husbands not to do or how to do it differently?
Yes, this not only goes for just kingdom men and men who feel like they have a kingdom call and conviction, but this goes for any man, especially and specifically the ones who feel like they're getting ready to build something. They got to invest into something. It could be a startup. It could be a new business. It could be a new venture or partnership. That you don't have to choose between your family and the business. You don't have to choose. You have to just manage it. One of the best things I've ever heard from Miles Monroe is time was created for man. That's why it's called management. Men managing time. God gave us that gift to manage our time. And with the right time management and all the SAS and calculators and reminders and calendars we have, it's meant to do that. And so you don't have to pick and choose. I often battle with, man, Steve Jobs had to do this. And, oh, wow, all the great startup guys and tech guys and business guys. Like I hear of these like downfalls with their families. From Jeff Bezos recently, he's got a divorce. And then Bill Gates, like you look at all like, man, first you don't know what their relationship is with their spouse or with God.
True.
You don't know where the center is.
True.
And then all the things you want to build for the kingdom is like, do I have to sacrifice like the secular or the natural did?
Exactly.
And you don't. Some people would be even a little bit more religious and churchy to say, oh, well, Jesus, he didn't have family. He said whoever was his disciples or his people, like that was his. I'm like, oh, wait a second. Jesus didn't have a 2-year-old running around.
Hello?
Hey, wait a second. He was a son. He didn't have a son.
Right.
Let's get this. He loved the kids now, but they went home to their parents. And so what I love about that, and I'm being reminded of when they asked Jesus, like, hey, do we owe the tax? Are we supposed to pay this tax? He says, give God whatever's God's. Give Caesar's whatever Caesar's. And I would I would challenge most men is give your family whatever they're due. Give your wife the tax. Give your children the tax you owe them. Give God what's his first. Give the business what it needs, but also give your family. They have a tax. Y'all know all the taxes we get taxed for anyway. Just add them to us. So yeah,
it's really good.
So that's a little bit of my perspective, and I'm grateful for that. I don't mind holding the responsibility of that, which will probably be a different podcast, is the responsibility of the weight. But for you, living with a monster, literally, it's like watching Hulk morph. Over the last 8 years, I've had to change into
the Hulk.
Yeah, is that not what I said?
You said Hawk.
Hulk. That's just you're making fun of me.
No, I'm not.
I meant the green guy. The green guy.
Okay, there's two different
Hulk,
characters.
Marvel.
One's Hawk, one's Hulk. Just making sure.
Okay, but seeing me morph into this green guy over the years to become the thing that we've always been talking about, or that I've always been sharing with you, because I share with people, to become a millionaire, billionaire, tech, anything, it's not what you do, it's who you become. And a lot of people, specifically the women, specifically wives, aren't fully sure, crafted, or built to handle the change of their husband who is trying to build something. Noah was a carpenter, possibly, or somebody who just knew how to work a hammer, and then became a boat salesman overnight. So you have to know a lot about, and a boat builder. For you, being able to have this window into my life, how have you been dealing with the change, and then at the same time building the home with the kids and me and you and your world?
That's a loaded question. Honestly, I think the thing I have to start with is like, who you are today is not who I married. And so learning to adapt to who you are now and all the changes that you've gone through has probably been my hardest part of marriage. I love marriage. I love being married. I am a husband's wife all day. Like, he's my best friend. However, there have been times that I have missed the man that I married because of the man that you have become. And not in like a bad way. I'm not saying like I want a divorce or anything like that. But there are moments that I'm like, this isn't actually who I married. I didn't marry you because you were some great entrepreneur with this major vision and like all these things that God was speaking to you and saying to you and all these things. Like, I always knew, honestly, I just thought we were going to be in music forever. And like, being a musician's wife is really simple. Clap at a couple things, go do a couple things in the studio, show your face, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not that hard. But then you started morphing into like, well, God has given me a different vision, and now we have to do this, and we're going to move, and all of these things. And like, the man that you are today is a lot stronger, is a lot more focused, is a lot more God-centered than the man that I married. And I'm not saying that like I haven't changed, but it is important for you to change throughout marriage. Like, you can't be stuck with who we were at, 21, 25.
Yeah.
But like morphing into the major entrepreneurial monster that you are now has taken a minute to get used to, because you don't talk the same. You don't speak to me the same. Our communication levels have changed because...
Can you explain some of the ways that have changed when it comes to speaking to you?
Yeah, you're a lot more direct now
Okay.
when you talk to me. It used to be a lot of forgiveness and grace and schmooby-doobiness in your speech. And I have had to get used to you because you're talking directly and you got to get stuff out and you got to get stuff going in your real life.
Okay.
Not marriage life, but like, your life outside of the home. Mm-hmm. You sometimes forget to turn that off as a CEO when you come home, and then you're CEO of your house. So you're speaking to me the same way that you spoke to other people outside. And I had to get used to knowing, like, you're not speaking to me like that because you're mad at me or because I did anything wrong. Mm-hmm. You're speaking to me like that because that's how you've been speaking all day, and you need to get a point across because you have a million bajillion other things on your mind. It took me a minute to get here because I did not appreciate it and I did not like it. Mm-hmm. And I would ask you sometimes, like, who are you speaking to right now? Because I think you forgot you're talking to your wife.
I'm sorry, baby.
But
that's the Hulk. See,
there
the green guy, not the Hulk, but the Hulk. Same thing. Don't
okay. So I've had to learn to adapt better to who you are now. But the same sense in like raising the kids, I don't play as big of a role in our businesses, obviously, as you do. Mm-hmm. But I don't play as big as a role because I play a bigger role in our home than you do.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you are able to do, and I am confident in saying this, you are able to do the things that you are able to do business-wise with the people that you're meeting, the way that you're traveling, the things you've been able to do, because I play the role that I play in this house with raising our children, educating them, taking care of the home front, and doing all the behind-the-scene things that people may not ever know.
That is true.
And I love every minute of it. I do not want to be the face of anything.
But you have the prettier face.
Thank you. However, I don't really want to be out there meeting a whole bunch of folks. No offense to anybody, but like, that's just not my calling. And so learning to understand our roles has helped a lot too. Yeah.
That's good. So with that, how did you maintain honoring me and supporting me, as well as even the times where I was more intimate into studying and finding out the deals and the structure and the strategies rather than how to architect your body at 11 p.m.
There's a joke that I've said recently that I'm like, your laptop has felt your fingers more than my body has.
Oh, okay.
And so it's because
I was too distracted to hear that.
Exactly.
I finally just heard that.
You just got what I was saying?
I just got what you're saying right now.
There you go. So
that kind of makes sense.
It's because I've put it on my Instagram and stuff before, but when we go to bed with a bunch of tech. It's like having a second woman in the bed with us. Mm-hmm. Because you are your mind is going. Now, when we first met and when we first got married, your mind would do this with music too. Mm-hmm. You'd hear something, you'd have to play it, you'd have to record it, you'd have to write it down, all these things. So I was used to that part. Like, he's not always fully there. It's like dating a crazy person. But
yeah,
now with so much tech and you're always learning and you're always figuring out something, or something new is always happening, it has played a role in our marriage. But I had to get used to, once again, knowing you're not doing that because you're mad at me or because you don't like me as much. You're doing it because you want to set us up for our future better than what we are right now.
Yeah.
And once I saw that perspective change, you said it one time in a discussion we were having. I say discussion, it was probably an argument, but it was a discussion. And I was like, I feel like you don't care about me anymore. And you were like, I care more about you, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing, because all I can see is it for you and the kids in the future, and not for your instant gratification, but for what we can build in the future and for our grandchildren. And I think once you said that, I was like, oh, you like love me. Like our love level has gone up a level because you're doing all the things that you're doing and you're taking this time to learn all these things because you want to better our future, because you want to better it with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So learning that sometimes our intimacy level may be different. We've been on date nights, birthdays, Valentine's Day. It don't matter. That man gonna talk about business. It is just who he is. It may be it's never a small segment. That man gonna talk about business.
Not all the time.
That man gonna answer a text or a phone call or something.
How do you feel about that? Because this is where most women would trip. It's either that or me. It's either might as well be a side chick. Might as well be a side chick.
Feel like a side chick sometimes.
Do you feel like the side chick?
I do feel like the side chick sometimes. I just play into that role sometimes. No,
Yeah.
I do feel like a side chick sometimes. Like you're married to the business, but then there are moments that you notice it before I have to say anything, and so you're quick to correct it, which helps. There were moments where I had to say something and you would be like, that's not true, blah, blah, blah. And then you would come back to me and be like, you know what, baby, you're right. It has been a while since we've had a date. And it has been a while since I've put the laptop down and just talked to you. And so learning in those moments, this has not been a quick thing. It's not like this is just our first year of you doing this. And so wisdom and maturity have come along with being able to do this. But also because I am fully immersed into being our children's mom and educator in their area of life where they do not notice that you are missing from anything because I have made you present in everything. Even if you are not there, your name is there. Even if you are not there, we're sending you pictures. We're talking about you. We're doing other things. Can't wait to bring daddy back. Like I have made sure
That's good.
that you are ever present in our home and in our family, no matter what. So my mind is always on that. So no, I don't feel like you're taking the business over because I have made you so present in our lives that we don't really notice most of the time. I mean, there are moments, obviously, the kids, but I miss daddy, but I don't want daddy to go and all of that. And obviously I miss my best friend. I hate sleeping without you, but knowing that you're doing it for the betterment of our future, because you are building generational wealth and not just instant gratification. And that has helped in a lot of this.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. You're such a good talker. I love it when you talk more. Thank you for handling it because I know that's rough, especially for Enneagram 9. For someone who's very comfortable, you got to know what's happening. You don't like change.
I hate when plans change, and they change a lot being married to an entrepreneur. Just FYI, if you're just now getting into it and you, like myself, do not appreciate change as much, your life with an entrepreneur is going to change a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like big moves or anything like that. It's just like, his biggest thing is, why don't you plan? Why don't you plan the day? Because most of the time when I plan, those plans change and it takes me a minute to change with it. It irks my soul to plan something and then it changes.
I see it in your eyes right now.
And so it has taken me a while to get to the place of like tentative planning, tentative plans. These could change. This is not a concrete thing. We're okay if things change. I have to talk to myself daily with this.
Yeah.
Because there's a level of peace and comfortability in knowing what's coming next. I am not type A. I am the B-est type of type B there ever was. But I do like to know what's coming ahead so that I can prepare for change.
Yeah.
And entrepreneurship does not lay that foundation.
No, it's a risky business.
It is.
It's a buy it as seen. You cannot look at this house.
Yeah.
You can't look at the foundation. You have to, if you see, and that's exactly what I tell people. It's sight unseen.
Yeah.
The step of faith is sight unseen.
For sure.
If you could see the thing before you have faith, you would never use it.
I think there are two moments that if you ever wanted to know that God was real, that you should do. One is create a life inside of your body as a woman. Like, there is no doubt after you do that, that God is not real. Because I grew eyebrows inside of my body and I did nothing to help. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just incubated. And the next is to be an entrepreneur, because you will use your faith daily for stuff that you didn't even know you needed faith to use. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because we're not guaranteed a check this month.
Yeah, not at all. And that's the hardest part actually about following the kingdom way to do it. Now, when I say the kingdom way, you understand what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying. No money down. No investment, no inheritance. No, hey guys, do you want to, like, nobody's coming to rescue or save us. It's not happening.
Yeah.
And God wants it that way. Because he and he alone, I'm learning every day, like, oh, I see why you want to take credit on this record. You want to be the only writer on this record, the only producer on this record. So when people hear it and see it, they know who brought them through. And that's the hardest thing about being an entrepreneur is your blood is built for independence.
This would be so much, I've said this before, this would be so much easier for you if you were not married and we didn't have kids.
And if I was just a regular entrepreneur, if I just like, oh yeah, we about to go out here, ball, we can do that, we can do that. But when you're kingdom driven, you're kingdom dependent. Meaning every little thing, bread, daily bread, that's a real situation.
I didn't understand that scripture until we became entrepreneurs.
Because things, you not only got to pray and depend on the bread, but you got to manage the bread that you're being given. Like, how much money there's moments literally no money this month. Next month, 10 grand. Next month, 20,000.
Literally. Like,
what do we do with it?
There are times our pantry is bare and we can't go to the grocery store, and then the next month we're in Disney. Like, it's a wild ride as an entrepreneur.
Yes. Now that's not supposed to be like that forever. But there's this other thing, a part of me as I'm changing that you've heard me say several times. And because I'm changing and I have the ability to foresee, to be a visionary, to have foresight, which my faith drives a lot of that. Like, I can see stuff and it's already done in my mind. It's already done. It's going to happen. You've heard me say several times that, hey, my wife don't sound like that. My wife don't think like that. She don't clap back like that. She don't have empty faith. She's not blind. She knows what's happening. And I say it almost as if it's this other woman you don't know about.
It used to come across real condescending.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. When he first started doing this, I want to punch him in the throat. But then you explained yourself. Because saying it with no context
it's so cute, man.
Was ridiculous.
There has been something I've been struggling with, not only just telling you this, not fully knowing why. I love when I say something and then like appears to be like a real thing later. I love that part. Like, man, that's why I was saying that. That's why I was believing that. That's why we should have did that. But after rereading Proverbs 31 again, that's where I actually found you. I found the woman I was talking about that I know you're supposed to become, that you actually are becoming. Low key, it's slow, but it's growing. It's moving. This 31 woman. And something inside of me, even more, it challenges my integrity. It challenges my conviction. It challenges me my everything. But at the same time, like, there's something I see. If we're going here and I look like this, then you don't look the same and you don't talk the same.
Yeah.
And so can you explain this 31-ness that you're finally, I think, just now kind of tapping into, maybe even preparing for, maybe even understanding some of the things I've said, because you can't have the thing and not become the thing.
Yeah, for sure.
The Bible clearly talks about that. Man, as he thinks in his heart, so is he. So as he becomes, so that's what he has. And so can you share a little bit about how this is maybe kind of morphed you into that 31?
Yeah, I think, first of all, I have to say, I don't know if anybody else grew up in the 90s Christian church, but Proverbs 31 is probably a triggering word for you because it was so instilled that you had to be this Proverbs 31 woman and this was the standard and blah, blah, blah. But like deep diving into it now as an adult, first of all, that woman was a wife. It wasn't just some random chick. That woman was a wife. She was somebody's wife, and her husband had a lot of levels that he had to accomplish in order for her to be who she was. That's number one. Number two, she doesn't actually exist. So the thing that I discovered the other night is that the Proverbs 31 woman does not actually exist. She is who King Lemuel, King Lemuel, his mom is telling him this is who he should pursue when he's in pursuit of a wife. And so she starts with like, don't waste your strength on women who will ruin kings, because he was a king. Basically, don't be with hoes. Don't be with all these loose women out here who are just throwing themselves at you because you have the king title. But this is the type of woman you should be with. And she goes into saying, who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She is far more precious than rubies. And then she goes into all of the things that the Proverbs 31 woman is. She's not real. She's a standard. She's not somebody who's put on a pedestal. She's a standard in which us as wives, kingdom wives, should want to live up to.
Yeah.
Your husband also has some scriptures in there that he needs to live up to in order for you to be able to reach the place that you are. But we will go through that another day. But I think it was important that when I started reading it younger, even in a couple years into our marriage, I didn't quite fully understand. But there's a scripture in there that talks about her wisdom. And so as I've gotten older and I'm maturing and I'm seeing the things, my wisdom has gone up a level. And so now I'm able to understand who this woman was, what she does, and how she's able to do it. And so now as the standard, this is who I am working myself towards becoming, to be a better wife for you who is far more precious than rubies.
Yeah, you are.
And so with that comes the confidence in knowing that this is who God has given me to be able to become. I am able to become these things that the Proverbs 31 woman is because God has equipped me to be able to do it. Because he has equipped my husband to be able to provide the foundation that I'm able to do it. If you were just some random dude who didn't, love the Lord the way you do, didn't hear from the Lord the way you did, and didn't follow God the way that you do, I couldn't become the standard in which I was. Because the woman in this scripture was the standard for a king and not the standard for a jester.
Yeah.
Or like a lowlife or someone who's not doing his part.
Come on.
And so I've had to learn when my husband was saying, that's not the way my wife talks. That's not the way my wife does it. Instead of wanting to punch him in the throat, I had to figure out what was the standard in which he was talking about so that I could bring myself up to that standard. Because honestly, there were moments that I was like, you do this vision by yourself. You do this work by yourself. You become this entrepreneur by yourself and leave me alone. Until I realized like, God has called me to this too because we are married. And God wouldn't have placed me into your life if he didn't think that I was the one to be able to do it with you or pull you along to be able to do it or to back you up to be able to do it or to take care of your home, your household, and your children so that you are able to be great in the places that you need to be great.
Amen, sister. So cute. Man, you're so good at this. No, it's crazy because I'm not granted that sight unless I am trying to be righteous, to be integral. And the more I pursue, like, man, I think I got to do this the right way. Like, yeah, I did this. Yeah, we have this, but there's a way I'm supposed to be doing the thing. And the more I see that for myself, me, it's easier to see it in the other things around me, and especially other people. And a couple things that kicked out at me is either the woman who told her son this, either she was that woman.
Yep.
Because, you know, boys, we really marry our moms. Or she served a woman like this.
Yeah, for sure.
She was a servant. She worked like, hey, it said something about the 31 women that she prepared her servants.
Servant girls.
Her servant girl. She might have been a servant girl. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, I want to be like this, or I want my sons to be like that. There's no way you can describe this type of woman if you're not or you haven't seen. Mm-hmm. So, babe, thank you for sharing that. I think that's really important in our marriage for us to see each other, how we're growing, what we're becoming, but also what we should be turning into.
And who we will be.
Who we will be. Even in this current moment, I'll tell you guys a couple things. Our health and our wealth has been challenged, along with our home status. So I'm undergoing a unique week of fasting because it's been the hardest thing to do for like 8 months. I haven't been able to truly fast the way I wanted to fast with control because I have a seditious eating habit. Yeah, that's a new word. That's the first time I'm using it. But I learned that
seditious gluttony spirit.
Seditious gluttony spirit, what my wife said, that has kept me held back. Even though I love food, I'm a foodie. Let me not say that like that. Even though I admire food.
No, you said it right. You said it right.
Why do you sound so South right now?
Because you said
so
it.
Hood.
There are moments that I'm not sure whether he loves me or he loves the meal I
You're
cooked.
a different situation on camera. You know that? You're acting up right now.
I mean, let's be real.
I do.
There are moments that he describes food that I would dream he described to me. Like he be talking to his boys. I'm like, who he talking about? A restaurant.
I love food and food loves me, but it's not a part of the vision.
No, you love food and food don't love you back.
Food don't love me back. No,
it's a mistress.
It is a mistress. And she do not call. Like I have to call her. I have to text her. I have to go see her. Like this is not a two-way street at all.
I ain't never got to worry about my man cheating.
Yeah,
eating.
This is ridiculous. But it's been a sin that I've carried, and I told my wife, like, I get to see my sin I carry every day. This sucks, because I'm in my vision. I don't look like this. I don't even talk like this. I don't sound like this, and so that has to change. And I need clearer clarity going into Q2 of 2026.
Yeah, we have encountered major changes.
Yeah.
In just the first, just this week, honestly. You know what I mean? That have pushed you to be like, oh, wait, I have to make a change.
I have to make a change.
Because we didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because something I have to, we got in an argument yesterday or the day before. What was it about?
I don't know no more.
No, remind me. What was it about? It was about something.
Oh, the bills.
The bills, yeah. There was a falter, a delay in one of the bills, and I was furious because it's another thing I felt behind in. It's another thing on top of the thing that we're dealing with. Yeah, there's some wins.
We're sounding real mysterious, but it's just because legally we can't talk about it right now.
Yeah, but
but we will. We will bring it to Married to Marriage and say everything that we have to say. It'll be a whole episode by itself.
Well, I tell people often too, if you sign up for this, here's a disclaimer. If you sign up, this is like playing Jumanji. You roll the dice.
Yeah.
And you kind of don't know what you're going to get. It sounds fun. Making a product.
It sounds real fun.
Y'all business people, y'all know what we're talking about. People who ain't done this, like for real, like you don't know what we're talking about. When you start a business, it sounds fun. You start to do what you love. Oh, you start making a little money. Oh, you can go to your fancy coffee shop. Not Starbucks, but you can go get $8 coffee now.
Bougie coffee.
And so, but with that comes the real stuff: trademark, copyright,
lawyers,
insurance, like take backsies, refunds,
take
like
backsies.
people, partnerships. ones that's about to start, one that's already failed before it start, and the one that you got to make sure that doesn't fail because it needs to start.
And ones that are ending.
One that's one like you don't know what's coming and going, and so it's just another thing on top of this week. And I told my wife this is last night. That I said I'm right about a few things half the time. But because I'm wrong about the other half, this shows me why we have to be centered. And I'm learning how to rebound this quicker because normally it can go a little longer than 2 days. But when you're on a mission, when you know you have something to do, when you know that something is yours, you will do anything to get anything out of the way. Get away from me.
I do have to say,
this is not happening.
We could have let this fester a lot longer.
Yeah.
I was ready. I'm gonna be honest. I was ready. You going, okay, that's fine. That's what you going, that's how you want to be. I'm just kidding.
I have to remind my wife and I that we're not just battling our flesh in real life situations, but we're
100%.
also battling things in the spirit. And that's where leadership and myself as the lead, because I'm responsible for my wife and everything that happens in this house. First of all you men, you are responsible for your wife, for the family, and everything thereof. Period. No matter what, if it falls back on you, it's never her fault. I don't care what she did.
You have always said if we were ever to get divorced, nobody should question me.
No, not question. Even if she stabbed me, even if she killed me.
Dang.
That's the fact. If a man is leading right, the family will be well. If the family is going wrong or astray, see what the husband been doing. Where he at? What did he say? What he didn't do? What didn't he say? I will stick to that till the day. And so I have to remember and bring this to my wife. One, yes, bring what's real, what we have to fix practically, but also what we have to pray spiritually. It's a spiritual component because why? This is God's business. Wait a second. This is a two-way situation. This is a 2D film here. And so I have to govern our family in these matters. This has been just a recent something that broke our bond for a little while we were on track. And I had to figure out, okay, what am I missing? This can't go another day. This can't go long. We live in the same household. We got our kids here. We got stuff to do. We got stuff to move. How can I see this differently? And we watched something from a service, Pastor Travis Green, and then talked about it and then made changes. One of the other changes that we're making, not just besides both of our diet, because we're both going to lose 30 to 40 pounds in the next 6 months, period. It has to happen. Health before wealth. The other thing is distraction. We have up on our whiteboard all the distractions and things that's been hindering us from fully going full force all the way in that allows us to do these podcasts. Like focus, we have notes, we have paper, y'all. It's because we put things together. Now, yeah, there's a little help from technology, praise God. But those are all of our thoughts. These are all of our real stories to get us moving in the right direction. And TV has been an enemy in our house where we're consuming instead of producing. My wife knows how big of this I'm on. I'm a producer by nature. Like I'm used to making and producing things. And it's been the biggest hindrance of our family, what our family's supposed to do, what I'm supposed to do, what we're supposed to do together, is get the distractions out of the way. Where we should be producing, we're consuming. That goes along with food too. Where I should be producing fruit, I should be producing an image. I should be producing abs and pecs. Come on, somebody. Summertime is on the way. I'm consuming.
I can see the vision, Lord.
Yeah, you can. I'm consuming the sin of my distractions. I'm distracted by food. What should I eat?
That's good. That was good.
I'm consumed by food. I'm distracted by food. Oh, we go to bed at night watching a little show. It feels good. Wrong season. You can consume that later. We're not there yet. Not us. Y'all can do that. Maybe not y'all, if you hear me right. But we're supposed to be producing something in this season. We're farming. Imagine having all this. This is how I see my house. I see my house as a storehouse. Come on, there's a spirit talking right there. And there's nothing but seed around here. You ask my wife. I will get furious. Like what is happening? I see too much seed and not enough crop. not enough harvest. And we're so privileged. We're so gifted. We're so talented. Everybody in my house is talented, all the way down to the 5-year-old. Talented, gifted, everybody. And we're all in here. And God's trying to get something through us, but He can't get to us because we're consumed by distraction. Not in my house, not doing it. We've done it for years. And distraction produces something else. Distraction produces delay on all fronts. The seed and the fruit that you're supposed to build. It also, if you get distracted in your marriage, it produces delay on the love, on the growth, on the maturity of the bond you're supposed to have. And this is really for men because, man, somebody got to lead it. Somebody got to say something. And it should be the head of the house who's in charge, because why? We're the most responsible. And so even in our marriage, I think bringing back an alignment is through faith that says, hey, well, I got faith. I got faith in our skills and what we see in the natural, but I'm not putting a lot of faith in what I should be seeing in the spiritual, because faith is the substance of something you can't see. Mm-hmm. That's why we don't pray for stuff we can't see, because we don't know that we can't see it, and therefore we're not going to pray for it. So that's why I was challenged. This is last night, y'all. This is fresh meat. We have to start building faith in places that we normally wouldn't see as an enemy. Normally we wouldn't see as a battle, because we're warring against flesh and blood between husband and wife. But there's always something else in the midst. There's always another third party. Is it distraction? Is it the enemy? Is it this or is it that? Knowing that I'm not fighting my wife over her, because I love my wife dearly, extremely, but over things. Mm-hmm. What are we talking about? I know I'm hot on one right now. But.
Yeah, you are. I think that's a good place to put, like, how to argue and disagree cleanly. Mm-hmm. Is to remember that I'm not arguing with you. I'm not fighting with you. I'm not fighting against you. We're fighting together for something that's happening between us. And so if it's a distraction, there have been many moments in this life of being an entrepreneur that we have had arguments and stuff, but it's just because we're growing and learning who the new person is that we are married to. Mm-hmm. And so having a vision, being an entrepreneur, doing all these things, and having a full functioning family can sometimes be really stressful. Mm-hmm. But if you remember that I'm not fighting with my husband, I'm fighting against who I thought he was and who he's growing into be. Mm-hmm. I'm learning in these moments. Mm-hmm. It looks like an argument. It looks like a fight, but it's just a growth moment. It's a learning experience. Everything, where do we hear this? Everything is a classroom. Mm-hmm. And so you're learning in those moments. But maturity helps with this. Mm-hmm. Wisdom helps with this. Making sure God is the center helps with this. Mm-hmm. Having mature friends around you, because the people that you're surrounding yourself with, if they're people who are single, if they're people who are against marriage, if they're people who are constantly telling you, girl, it's not worth it, he's not worth it, move on, you don't deserve this, you should be here, blah, blah, that's not the right friend for you.
Yeah.
If you know in your heart that God has placed you with that man, and because he is changing in this season to do something so that your future looks different, and you know that God has placed you in his life and placed you guys together, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. This doesn't just go for just men. I say this because that's our situation. If you know that your woman has a vision from God, mm-hmm. and she is changing to fit that vision, step up and change too. But don't listen to the people around you who are saying, oh, she got different, she's becoming different, you shouldn't even be with her no more, you should leave her. Absolutely not. You should step up, become the man that God has called you to be, become the woman that God has called you to be, whoever it is that's being the visionary in your relationship, and step up and be who God called you to be. And know that each disagreement, each argument is just a classroom. It's a stepping stone. It's a lesson for who you're going to be in the future.
That's good, babe. That's good. I want to give you a couple takeaways from this moment, specifically talking to men, but really talking to the bond, is that there's two things I learned out of this moment. where we can be practical and where we should be prayerful. There's always a practical. What can we do practically to help our marriage and to help us stay on course? Get rid of the distractions immediately. Where are we lacking practically? We can plan better. Oh, hey, save time better, save money. This is what we do and what we don't do. I tell my wife, like, hey, don't talk to me about money after 10 p.m. This is not a good situation.
We have to set standards for our marriage.
And don't let me buy nothing after 10 p.m.
It's like being drunk.
And at the same time, if we're going through something, or really before we go through something, how to still be prayerful at all costs. The Bible says pray without ceasing. Pray before something get crazy and foolish and ratchet. Pray when it's all good, when the sun's out. Those two things. The other thing I want to mention too is these are two systems, practical system and a prayerful system. Why? Because it keeps us accountable to the actual mission. Where can we practically level up ourselves? There's so much I learned about being integral and by keeping my word in the season. I'm sharing on the Manual podcast for men. That is a system. Anytime you are pursuing something and doing something over and over again, we call it a habit, but it's really an AKA system that we're putting together. So everything that we do, like from our eating to our time to us, even doing these podcasts, to be consistent has to be systematic. You got to have the same thing for your prayer life too as well.
That's so good. That's so good. That was so good, babe. I think some practical tools, I'm just going to summarize it a little easier for everybody. Some practical tools that you can do in your marriage to make sure that you're on the same wavelength, that you're intentional in your marriage with the things that you're having intentionality in your marriage while you're also pursuing this entrepreneurial life. So one of them would be a weekly check-in for your marriage. That's kind of like a business meeting, but for your marriage. Because whoever's the main CEO of your business is doing business meetings all day long. But why not do one for your marriage? Hey, how's this week been? What's been happening with the business? How are you at home with the kids? Anything going on? Any doctor's appointments, blah, blah, blah. Just a basis for your marriage. We usually do this like Sundays, honestly, where we're like, hey, this week we have so-and-so has this. We have this. What do you have? Blah, blah, so that we know what's coming up ahead. Things change, obviously. I'm not great with it, but they happen. But at least we know a foundation and a base for a check-in that we have weekly for what's going on. Another one would be just making sure to keep, this is going to sound so religious and so simple, and yet it's a step that most of us always miss. It's just keeping God at the center of every business decision and every marriage decision that you have. So remembering he may not always talk to me about what he's making decisions with in business because things are moving so quickly. I don't expect him to call me every time something changes or he's going to buy something or he's going to do something or he's meeting with somebody. But I do expect him to check in with God to make sure that it sits right in his spirit and vice versa. I'm not going to call him every time I change a lesson plan for the kids or they go to a doctor or we go to a park. But he is expecting me to check in with God to make sure this is a safe moment for us to do this. So I think those are practical ways to do it. Also, protect your date nights. Okay? They're a non-negotiable. Date nights do not always have to be going out to a restaurant and spending hundreds of dollars.
Come on, somebody. Don't have to. It can be free.
We have made date nights at home. One, because we don't have someone to always watch all three of our children. Okay. And two, because in order to make date night intentional, sometimes it's not practical for us to be able to go out. Sometimes it's that we're separating 2 hours of an evening in between phone calls, emails, SOPs, people, all the things. But we know those 2 hours are set aside and blocked off for us to spend intentional time with each other. We're watching a movie, we're making a meal, we're eating together. Something is happening that's just us two. We had a date night last night that looked unconventional. We watched a thing from Travis Green. That was a date night for us. And then we talked about it. And then we made a meal together. Like it was just something that was for us that was done within the home.
Yep.
And so that's always a good one. Date nights are non-negotiable. Whatever day, they used to be in our calendar for every Wednesday or every whatever. But now we're realizing as entrepreneurs, we just got to call them out sometimes. Hey,
Yep.
date night this week's going to be on Friday.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
and these anchors, and I kind of heard this in the moment, because we're going to change again. Our situation is going to change again. Our living situation, our schedule is going to change again. These things are staples, anchors, and rocks in your marriage. That no matter where you're at, we're in an 1,100 square foot home and we drive a 2015 Tiguan right now. But we know our future is going to look different here in the next 9 months to 2 years. Will we still have those staples and non-negotiable
foundations?
Foundations, yeah.
I think the last one would be define your roles clearly within your marriage and within the business that you guys are doing together. Mm-hmm. We said it earlier. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again. Mm-hmm. I know my role is to take care of the home. He knows his role is to take care of the business. Mm-hmm. Do they come together? Absolutely. One cannot run without the other. Mm-hmm. But we made sure to define what was happening so that nobody is stepping on each other's toes. There's no power struggle. I'm not thinking I'm running the business or a meeting or talking to people when he's like, wait a minute, I had already established a relationship, and he is not coming in, taking over the children's educational lesson plans, not knowing what was going on.
Not at all. For everybody's sake.
We call him the principal. So at the end of the week, they present their lesson plans or whatever, like, hey, this is what we learned this week. I want to tell you about such and such.
Y'all call me the principal.
Yeah, we call you the principal.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are y'all doing? What are we doing?
You're just random. Like, we doing school. Walk away. Yeah. So we call him the principal of our homeschool group, our homeschool life. But we know each other's roles. We play them very well. And we do not expect each other to just jump into the other person's roles without a discussion first. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
This is brilliant.
Yeah. And so that's just some practical anchors that I think can stay in your marriage so that I say it every single podcast, so that you have a foundation. Yeah. So that your foundation is always strong. Yeah. So that no matter if you go higher or lower, mm-hmm. your foundation is still the same.
Yeah. That's good, babe. So today we covered a lot, but we wanted to show you guys into our neck of the woods, into our lives, of what building a kingdom business and family and marriage looks like from this angle. You guys are at a different angle, but we know what it's like to start a business in faith, to be able to go through different things and changes and transitions as I Hulk, that's so the green guy, into different personalities to become the person I need to become, but also challenge and watch and walk my wife into the woman she's supposed to walk into as our 31 of our home. And I believe she's a 32. There's more to my wife than just a 31 for sure. But also how to stand on certain anchors and have practicals and prayerful moments to come back to as anchors, because we're not perfect at it. But it's great when we can be reminded by it to do it. And it's such a refresh, and it's such an encouraging way to keep moving forward, still be productive, still produce, not consume. Produce your marriage. Don't consume your marriage. I just heard that. Sheesh. Produce the marriage that you know you can have. Don't just consume, meaning just take from it what you want. Sexually, emotionally, physically, all the leads.
Yeah.
Produce what you know is possible. I don't know who that's for. I know it's definitely for us, but produce your marriage. Ask God for the wisdom to carry you through. And we just want to help remind you guys of that.
One thing I want to challenge every couple that is listening to this podcast today is to schedule a marriage meeting this week. Mm-hmm. And in that marriage meeting, I'm going to give you specifics. In that marriage meeting, create your non-negotiable foundation.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be 10, 20 of them. It could be 5. It could be 4. But go ahead and have your marriage meeting this week with your spouse. That is not talking about the business, but it is solely within checking on how are you doing in this marriage? How am I doing in this marriage? How do you see me in this marriage? How do I see you in this marriage? Am I being who you need me to be right now for you and to you in this marriage, and vice versa? And then at the end of that, go ahead and create hey, these are things that I feel like we need to do for our foundation that are non-negotiable. We need to have these meetings every week. We need to make sure we're intimate once a week. We need to make sure all the things that you do not want to change, no matter what level you're on in entrepreneurship, you know that these things you will always go back to because they're your core foundation.
That's good. I'm going to say one more thing so we can get our numb butts out of these seats.
Yes, my God.
We're going to keep 100 with you. We 39 together. We both 39.
Oh, hey.
My wife just had a birthday. I'll just put you on blast. But this is for the men who are kind of like me, who's business, CEO. And you get that text or that call from a team member, from an employee, or from a client, and something didn't go right. Or somebody's upset. Somebody wants their money back. Somebody wants to move on. Somebody's angry. You couldn't make anybody happy. And that environment, that vibe just rests on you, and it takes you into that mode, which it does. I want you to practice maintaining the thought of, I'm about to see my wife in a second. My wife is a pleasant thought. You're a very pleasant thought. And so when I'm, oh my God, when I want to cuss somebody out, I know my wife is coming. And I had to learn how to accept your presence in your environment, the random coffees, the smiles, the hug. Fellas, you need this. She's your safe space. My wife ascends on me like a dove. In moments, I was annoyed. I'm like, I got to be strong. Oh, I got to handle. But no, she's supposed to be, when Jesus gets up out of the boat and he says, peace be still, he's actually talking about your wife. Let her come into your life and calm the waters a bit. Now, women don't come in there acting food, talking about what they want. Did you mess this up again? Y'all know how y'all can be just petty and ratchet. Like, what do you mean? Did we lose the client? Did we? I'm thinking of all kind of stuff. I can hear it right now. Be that, hey, babe, it's all good. Like, they weren't gonna be here forever. We win some, we lose some. You're very extremely good at this. Like, you could sell this for millions of dollars. This environment, this vibe. And it should go the same way around, too, as well. Husbands who know that their wives had a long day with the kids. And I can see sometimes I'll add fuel to the flame, which I need to watch it. I do. I suck at that. I got to be better at that. But we could be that safe place, too, as a wife. Like, hey, go hide in the room. I'm going to smash out all these kids. I'm going to just thrash them all. You know. And it'll do everybody some good. So be each other's safe space. That's why God gave you to each other. God's like, hey, I can't be down there in the flesh, but I sent you this person to hold you, to comfort you, to when you're weary, when you're a heavy burden, you can rest in them as you learn from me. So I just felt that in the moment. Anyway, you want to pray us out into this a little bit. And I'll go ahead and start just because I've seen your face there. That God, thank you for just being our provider, that to our visions, to the mission, you bring the provision, Father. I thank you for kingdom, spiritual, relational alignment in marriages that have been hard to see you because of the business, because of the numbers. Are we in the red? Are we in the black? Are we doing good? Are we not doing good? Should we fold it? Should we bankrupt? Should we give up? Should we keep going? And we're here today to say, keep going, but don't go alone. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go farther, go together in God. And God just asks you just to not just be a God to them, be a father. Be that favorite grandfather they can go to get that wisdom, Father, that you're sending the right people, the right community, the right message through YouTube, that sign, the scripture, for them to read, for them to come together and lift each other's spirits. It says iron sharpens iron. And right now we're doing that right now. Actually, just to cover them as he dealt with life, family, kids, work, business, sadness, news, wars, financial, the economy, all of the things. And I was speaking to I'm saying that's a specific prayer in America, but really all over the world where families are hurting, families are lost, they're confused. They're even trying to figure out, I don't even have time to think about a business. I'm just trying to figure out how to keep my family alive right now. Father, you see them too. Nothing new is under the sun. We just want to give you honor, give you praise, and give you thanks for all the above and all the below. Amen.
Amen. If anything we said today resonated with you, please let us know. Please comment below, like the video, all the little things that you're supposed to do. We really enjoy making these for you guys. It feels like a therapy session for us. And you guys are our therapists. You just don't talk back.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a great way for us to do it. So thank you so much for watching today. We really appreciate you. This is Married to Marriage.